morning, YouTube. I'm excited to turn into a morning person again. I used to wake up at like 4 a.m. every single morning. I literally don't know how I used to do that, but I'm gonna try to be a morning person again. And so I'm gonna show you my daily routine, waking up early, working out, and going to work. Before my workouts, I do like to eat something, and primarily I like to focus on carbs. If you are working out first thing in the morning, you do want to have something in your stomach, but prioritizing carbs and eating low fat is really helpful just to kind of help support muscle growth. So that's why I'm having a banana with a little bit of peanut butter and some chocolate chips for some fun. And then I am having a coffee with espresso and almond milk. So that's really hot. After the gym, I will have like a higher protein breakfast with more fats and some complex carbs. But before your workout, having simple carbs is really helpful. So a banana is perfect. I also have to take my morning supplements before I go to the gym, and it looks like a lot because it is. In the morning, I usually take thyroid support and fish oil, iodine for my thyroid, zinc, selenium for my thyroid, and then I also take probiotic and copper for my thyroid, this little blue guy. So it looks like a lot, but it's all really helpful. It's seriously so cold outside, you can see your breath. Okay, after my workout, I always take 5 perfect amino tablets. These replace about 20 to 30 grams of protein because you're just supplementing with straight amino acids, which is basically what protein is minus the calories. It's kind of confusing, but I've been taking them for a while and I absolutely love them. This is not an ad, but I take them post-workout, and then I also, if I train in the morning, I do a high protein, high fat breakfast that keeps me full all the way until lunch. So I'm gonna make that right now. This is my favorite breakfast to have post-workout because it's high fat, high protein, moderate carbs, moderate to low carb, and it keeps me super full for hours. And if you're someone that's struggling with blood sugar issues or you're trying to lose weight, eating a high fat, high protein breakfast is one of the best things that you can do. And then also Since it is a little bit higher fat, I love taking TUDCA. It helps break down fats and oils, and it also supports your liver. Okay, I thought it would be fun to show you guys a behind the scenes of what it's like being a one-on-one client, going through lab reviews and protocol creation, which is very crucial for the success of balancing your hormones, trying to understand the root cause of certain symptoms. So this client, all of her labs came in, Dutch test, GI map, and her blood work. Those are the 3 labs that I really recommend for anyone across the board struggling with hormone imbalances, weight issues, bloating, anxiety. This particular client, she has gained weight, she's bloated, chronically fatigued, she has anxiety and stress management issues or struggles, digestive issues, / just wants to look at her gut health a little bit more. And then she also has poor sleep. And there's definitely a lot of things in her labs, but she's been dismissed time and time again that, you know, it's just anxiety. Here's some anxiety medications, but obviously we know that there's so much more going on. So we are excited to dive in. So first off, what I like to do is really have the labs kind of going through that, and then also her intake form, because health history is so important when you're considering anyone's case. And I feel like I know that a lot of functional medicine practitioners oftentimes miss the mark on this because they're quickly going through the labs and everything in the same appointment. But me and my team do all of this before we get on a call with our clients, because it's really important to just kind of really dive deep into it where I have more time and I don't feel like I'm having to explain everything in real time, and also trying to like connect the dots, because oftentimes it's just a lot going on in each situation and you might need some extra time and you don't want to feel rushed or pressured. So that's why we do it this way. But first of all, I'll go through her Dutch test and some certain findings that we saw there. But again, kind of referencing back to her health history, because in this case it is important. She has always felt like she gained weight easily. She has a really big history of yo-yo dieting in college. She lost about 10 to 15 pounds, and then she would overindulge on the weekends, drank a little bit too much, and then she decided to get off birth control. And she had been on it since she was 16 years old, stopped taking it at 27. Once off the pill, she didn't get her period back for 3 years, and she did a lot of hormone testing with her endocrinologist, where she discovered she had little to no estrogen, probably from the chronic dieting on top of birth control also. Since then, trying to get her hormones balanced while dealing with some stressors, and she had some family stuff going on in a very high stress job, so a lot of external stress in her life, and now she's just looking to get control of her health and get some answers. So we are going to help her, but going through that health history is so important. So with her Dutch test, what we find, she still has really low estrogen. So I'll go through initially and just write down all the lows and highs. Obviously, functional ranges: low estrogen, low progesterone. And then she also mentioned she might have PCOS, or secondary amenorrhea, which is where you lose your cycle for a period of time, which she definitely did. But chronic stress, birth control, that's like the perfect scenario for losing your cycle, and chronic dieting. Her cortisol pattern actually looks pretty good, but she is falling onto the more adrenal fatigue side of things. So that can also be a causation of previous chronic stress. So if somebody's been really high cortisol for any period of time, they will find themselves in adrenal fatigue. So definitely seeing some signs of that with her cortisol pattern. And then we also see that she's glutathione deficient. That is significant because that's indicating that she has a lot of inflammation in the body. So all of her lab findings include her Dutch test, which is all of her hormones. She has low estrogen, history of chronic stress, chronic yo-yo dieting causes that, low progesterone, history of chronic stress, chronic dieting. She's in adrenal fatigue, so she needs to be careful of stressing her body out too much or else she's gonna feel more fatigued. But really nourishing her body and rebuilding those adrenals through lots of vitamins, minerals is going to be the way to address that, and prioritizing stress management. Glutathione deficiency, inflammation from her body, from her gut, more than likely. And then she has high etiocalanolone, likely from her immune system and gut issues that she has. Also, past history of chronic stress, chronic dieting is usually consistent with that as well. Not seeing signs of PCOS, which is good. She just has low hormones from her health history, but she does have some gut stuff going on. Elevated steatocrit indicating her bile flow is not good, so she's gonna get stool inconsistencies and feel kind of bloated after meals. Same thing with low elastase 1, that's your pancreatic enzyme. Can also mean that she has some insulin and blood sugar issues, which I definitely am seeing that in her blood work. She has leaky gut, which affects the gut-brain axis and just immune system inflammation. It'll increase that as well. Bloating is really common with that too. And then she has low commensal good bacteria. I'm gonna go back to her intake because she definitely was more constipated. She says she's almost always bloated and tired after meals. Some days I experience normal bowel movements and other days she's more constipated, which definitely is a sign of that low good bacteria in her gut. So we're gonna replenish that. And her blood work is showing that she has low T3, low T4. Her thyroid is kind of plopped out. Low insulin and high A1C. This is very interesting, but it's very common with chronic dieters. So you get a form of insulin resistance when your insulin is low and then your A1C is higher. She has low vitamin D, high cholesterol, probably from her thyroid, and then she has high bun creatinine ratio, likely just from some slight dehydration. So I am going to build her supplement protocol starting with gut focus, give her a reverse diet plan, which slowly feeding her body up to plenty of calories to support her, and then give her lots of lifestyle recommendations, and then give her a workout program. So I'm gonna work on that and show you guys the final product. Okay, so this is her finalized protocol, and I always like to put focus items here for the client just so she kind of knows, okay, here are the few things that I should be focusing on. So always add that at the top. And then her reverse diet plan is here. We're gonna have her follow this really to reboot her metabolism, and always explaining that to the client is super important, especially in this person's case because she has a history of chronic stress, chronic dieting, and we just really want her to understand the why behind that. So I included that there. And this is something that a lot of functional dietitians or functional practitioners out there will not, they don't really know macros that well, which is important, especially if the client has weight loss goals, or even in this case, she really just needs it to reboot her thyroid and hormones. So I would say it's a very essential part of the healing process, and there are lots of functional medicine people and naturopaths that don't know how to do this. So that's super important. And then I do want her doing blood sugar tracking because she has low insulin and high A1C. So those things can cause a form of insulin resistance and then further cause weight fluctuation. So I want her tracking those. Reduce her training just a little bit. Still want her lifting, but no HIIT. And then this is just a really detailed written summary of all the findings from her lab tests. All of this is manual, and a lot of companies out there nowadays use AI for the protocol creation process, which is not going to be helpful for anyone's situation. So I put all the lab findings in here for her so that she can see those, but I also do a video review and link them here for the client to watch. So she can reference that at any point, but it's really good to be super thorough, and then she can gather any questions she has. Supplement breakdown, this is what we're doing initially. I try to keep it super simplified, but you know, when you're dealing with dynamic issues, sometimes it's hard to keep it minimal, but this is only 8 products, ultimately supporting the foundation's electrolytes. Fish oil is super important for hormones, and then beta TCP is going to help break down our foods with bile flow. Pan9X for pancreatic enzyme, probiotic, and then Bloaties Pro, that's all digestive support. And then we have her doing Adrena Health to help support adrenal function, New Balance Plus for hormones, and then I gave her some breakfast ideas. She didn't ask for a specific meal plan, but if she changes her mind, we can always revert, but just giving her recipes there. So yeah, that's the protocol, process, and breakdown. And we will get her on this as soon as possible and feeling great. I'm having a little Perfect bar as a snack with my afternoon supplements, which includes more zinc, myo-inositol with some akkermansia to help with blood sugars and gut health, and then this is methyl care, so B12. And then I also take my fish oil and multivitamin, and then BPC 157 to help with gut health. So that's what I'm gonna take, and then a little Perfect bar to not have all of this on an empty stomach. Quick little lunch before I go into another meeting. Basically, my day is full of meetings, lab reviews, and doing social media. So that's a highlight of my day, and eating food. So I'm not tracking macros today. I'm just staying protein focused, focusing on fiber, whole foods, and drinking my little poppy, and also fiber, which is why I'm having this little apple. And it's quick and easy. Okay, I had the longest day of work ever, so I did a really quick dinner, and I used the Against the Grain pita. This is my favorite gluten-free pita. It's like doughy and really good, clean ingredients, no seed oils. Love this stuff. And then I just added a bunch of chicken, and then I did some veggies on the side. It took like 20 minutes to make while I took a shower. And then I'm having a protein shake on the side just for some extra protein. And I put the Just Ingredients protein in it, and then New Youth Collagen with Bloaties Pro. This is for gut health, and this is for gut health and hair, skin, and nails. So love this stuff and this. Taking magnesium before bed is super helpful just to kind of help with relaxation, and most people are magnesium deficient. So I like taking 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed. I love the Gaia Health magnesium. It's really good. It's not that expensive, and it just helps kind of calm me down before bed. So I take 3 capsules of that, and then put away my phone and just kind of chill out for the night. Also before bed, I will put on a castor oil patch, and I use these little flower ones, and I put a little bit of castor oil, and then I just put it on my belly button. So I'll do that, and then I'll also put mouth tape on, and then I turn my red light on. Also before bed, I make sure to lay out my clothes for the next morning, so I can just quickly throw them on and I'll be ready to go. So that's what that is. And then before bed, I like to turn off as many of the main lights as possible and turn on this red light, because it just kind of helps support better sleep and yeah, just get me into relax mode before bed. So I'm gonna relax before bed and I'll see you guys next time.